Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, we will explore together an extremely interesting and unexpected idea. What would happen if grizzly bears were introduced into the Amazon rainforest? Imagine a familiar North American species suddenly appearing in the dense, biodiverse, and challenging environment of the Amazon. Can grizzly bears adapt and survive in these completely new conditions? How will changes in behavior, activities, and interactions with native flora and fauna occur? Join us to learn and analyze in upcoming interesting and knowledgeable videos. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any interesting content. What would happen if grizzly bears were introduced into the Amazon rainforest? The Amazon rainforest becomes scary at night with diverse sounds, from chirping, growling to roaring. The Amazon is already rife with predators, and now we're about to release another predator into the environment. The grizzly bear? This isn't easy to do, but what would happen if we put grizzly bears into the Amazon rainforest? This is a huge forest with a lot of activity going on, but grizzly bears are large animals. Will the rainforest or the grizzly bears themselves be more disrupted? Bear. We'll move grizzly bears to the Amazon rainforest, but first, let's learn about them. The grizzly bear is a subspecies of the brown bear, living in North America and appearing since the Pleistocene period. In the past, they were distributed throughout North America, from southern Mexico to northern Canada and Alaska. However, due to hunting and human development, their territory shrunk, mainly in colder regions. Over the past 100 years, grizzly bears have lived primarily in western Canada and Alaska and have populations in Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and Washington. The shrinkage of their territory is largely due to human impact, not any other factor. Their territory is smaller but still very large. Grizzly bears that live in coastal areas are typically larger and are one of the largest subspecies of brown bears. Males typically weigh more than 850 pounds and are 6 to 8 feet long. When standing on all fours, their height at the shoulder is about 40 inches, which is about 3.5 feet. If a person stood next to an average grizzly bear standing on all fours, the bear's shoulders would be more than half the person's height. And if the bear stands on its hind legs, then it's best for the person to run. But can running save you? Unless you're an Olympic athlete, forget it, you're still in danger. When you run away, grizzly will often chase you with bad intentions. You might think that an 850-pound bear would be slow and too heavy to keep up with you. That's not right. Grizzly bears not only have powerful muscles, but also tremendous speed. They can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour in Yellowstone, and there are reports of them running up to 35 miles per hour. Usain Bolt, the fastest runner in the world, has a speed of 3 miles per hour, and you are not Usain Bolt. Even Bolt will have difficulty. You might think that climbing a tree will help you escape bears. That's a bad idea because they can also climb trees with their claws that are 2 to 4 inches long. So who will be the unfortunate person when approached by those claws, diet, and other things? Being the prey of a grizzly bear is a difficult life. But actually, grizzly bears are not entirely carnivores. They are omnivores, meaning they eat both animals and plants. One of their favorite foods is fish. Sometimes they also search for food by hunting animals that are dead or killed by other predators. If necessary, grizzly bears can take down larger prey such as deer, elk, caribou, bighorn sheep, bison, elk, and black bears. With their size, strength, speed, and claws, it's no surprise that they can pick up large prey. However, when faced with more dangerous prey such as elk and bison, grizzly bears are very intelligent. They do not chase adult bulls because although they can win, it is a fight in which they can get hurt. Therefore, grizzly bears are very good at stalking and hiding when necessary. They are observed frequently stalking the herd and hiding behind various objects, waiting for the right opportunity to attack weak animals or calves in the herd. But don't forget, grizzly also loves trees and fruits. Whatever fruit is in their area, from blueberries to raspberries to cranberries to huckleberries, they will eat it all. It is interesting to estimate that in some regions, 80–90% of the grizzly bear's diet is plant-based. Each day, they can eat up to 30 pounds of food. One of the reasons they eat so much, besides their huge size, is to store fat for the winter when they hibernate, if the weather requires it. Currently, most grizzly bears live in cold climates in the winter, so they hibernate for several months. However, when living in places like California and Mexico, Some grizzly bears do not need to hibernate due to mild winters. They are animals with good adaptability. People often think that all grizzly bears need to hibernate, but that's because their environment requires it. Now, speaking of environment, is it time we move Grizzly to a new environment, like the Amazon rainforest, the Amazon forest? Now that we know more about grizzly bears, it's time to learn more about the new environment they will be introduced to. From the Pleistocene period until now, grizzly bears have never set foot in the Amazon. They only live as far south as Mexico, which is northern Mexico. Meanwhile, the Amazon rainforest is located in South America, much farther south than Mexico. Most of the Amazon area is located in Brazil, accounting for about 60% of the area. In addition, the Amazon stretches across Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Ecuador, Guyana, Suriname, Venezuela, and French Guiana. Grizzly bear is familiar with 4 distinct seasons. Meanwhile, the Amazon rainforest has only 2 seasons: rainy season and dry season. During the rainy season, the average temperature is about 78 degrees F, and the relative humidity is about 88%. The dry season has an average temperature of about 82 degrees F and a relative humidity of about 77%. The Amazon is hot all year round and very humid for many months. The rest of the time, the weather is still quite wet. The dry season is not necessarily dry, but is only relative. The Amazon rainforest is extremely diverse. It is said that 1 in every 10 species in the world lives in the Amazon. Hopefully, grizzly won't get lost when we get them there. Currently, the Amazon rainforest is home to at least 40,000 plant species, more than 2,000 fish species, more than 1,200 bird species, more than 400 mammal species, more than 400 amphibian species, and more than 300 reptile species. This is a significant amount of biodiversity. Among them are species such as sloths, some species of deer and tapirs. When it comes to predators, we cannot ignore green anacondas, black caimans, jaguars, pumas, electric eels, and piranhas. With countless species in the Amazon forest, including both predators and prey, the ecosystem here is very fragile and balanced. These animals that live in the rainforest understand their environment, know the dangers to avoid, and are aware of potential threats. We're about to change all that by bringing an 850-pound grizzly bear from Alaska to the Amazon. We'll probably bring some grizzly bears too. Either way, things are going to get very interesting. The bear has arrived. Grizzly bears have landed in the Amazon rainforest, surrounded by exotic trees and a large river nearby. They seem confused, but we'll see how they adapt. Here, the weather is hotter and wetter than what grizzlies are used to. However, this may not be as different as you think. Temperatures between 78 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit are hot for grizzly bears, but even in Alaska, summer temperatures can sometimes reach 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Grizzly bears also live in warmer places, and let's not forget their ancestors lived in California and Mexico. Grizzly DNA has the ability to adapt to these conditions. You might think humidity would be a big problem for grizzly bears in a place like Alaska, but in fact Alaska is one of the wettest states in the US, with an average relative humidity of 77%. Immediately, Grizzly realized that they did not need to hibernate here. It was a burden lifted. They can eat as much as they want without having to store it for the winter. But wait, let's go back to eating as much as you want. What will grizzly bears eat? As mentioned, there are over 40,000 plant species in the Amazon, and grizzly bears can have a diet consisting of 80 to 90% plant foods. That's a good start. We believe that grizzly bears will likely consider some Amazonian plants to be good food sources for them, as long as they can avoid any toxins in the food. Bears love many types of berries, and there are many different types of berries that can be found in the Amazon. They may explore more unusual and exotic berries, perhaps camu or acai. In addition, grizzly bear also likes to eat fish. Did we mention over 2,000 species of fish? Grizzlies will likely want to avoid piranhas and keep an eye out for electric eels and black caimans in the water. Next, it is very difficult to take down a giant 850-pound grizzly bear. These animals will also be cautious when approaching him. If fish, berries, and plants aren't enough, there are other animals that grizzly bears can hunt down and take down if necessary, like some deer and tapir species for beginners. There are many species of rodents, including the world's largest rodent, the capybara. There are certainly many opportunities, especially if the grizzly is accidentally killed by another predator. How will that happen? Well, Maybe Grizzly will have to face a jaguar or a puma. A jaguar may be nothing to worry about. However, it only weighs about 350 pounds, much lighter than our grizzly bear up north. If a jaguar sees a grizzly bear approaching and notices the size difference between them, it will most likely be smart enough to flee the area. In fact, the grizzly bear will become the largest predatory mammal as soon as it reaches the Amazon. Black caimans can be very large, so that will be an opponent the grizzly will want to watch out for. However, it seems like the grizzly will be able to adapt. This won't be easy. He will need to tap into the adaptability of his ancestors, people who lived in places like California and Mexico, who were adapted to heat and humidity. He won't hibernate. Grizzly bears will have many food options, can eat any tree or fruit they want, and can hunt many animals, but they also need to be careful when approaching rivers. The rivers here are more dangerous than what he is used to back home. And when in danger, there are many predators present here. So grizzly bear needs to be cautious. But grizzly bears are faster than many of these predators, and those that aren't are heavier and stronger. It's a fragile ecosystem in the Amazon. Grizzly may not become an instant winner, but he will be one of the winners. With so much food around, he will never go hungry. He just needs to keep an eye on that river. Finally, when we witness the grizzly bear setting foot in a new environment, we cannot help but admire the adaptability and strength of this animal. Despite facing many challenges and dangers, grizzly bears have proven that their strength and flexibility can help them survive in new environments. By adapting to new weather, food, and habitat conditions, grizzly bears have become an important part of the Amazon rainforest ecosystem. With the ability to hunt and love to eat plants, they created a natural balance in their new environment. And despite all the dangers, grizzly bears continue to demonstrate incredible resilience and adaptation, making them incredible new inhabitants of the Amazon rainforest. If you are interested in the adaptability and strength of grizzly bears in the new environment of the Amazon rainforest, please press the like button and leave comment number 1 below this video to share your thoughts. If you don't find it attractive, click the dislike button and leave comment number 0 to let us know your opinion. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss other interesting videos about animals and nature.